In this video, we'll be showing you the various options you can use to log in to the client software. When you launch the software, you're presented with a simplified login box, as shown on the screen. Your username and password are all that are required to log in what's called local user mode. By clicking on the Options button, we can expand that. As you can see, we have various options you can use in order to log in to your video management system. First one, as I mentioned earlier, is local user mode. That requires a username and password that was previously set up on the VMS server by your administrator. This is where you would enter your normal username and password in order to gain access to the system. Network user mode is a variation on that, in which a file, a local data file, was previously saved by an administrator and contains the list of all the servers you will have access to. This makes the job of the administrator much easier when deploying the client software to multiple desktops. He or she will not have to enter each one of the server names manually. Simply by generating one of these data files, which ends with the extension of LSL, they can import that data into each client installation and have the same servers deployed throughout without having to do additional typing. This third option that you see here, called Database Server, points the client software to a particular server that contains only the database. For a standard default installation, you will see 127.0.0.1, which is your local host, normally meaning the machine that the server install was done on originally. There's really no need to change that unless you've split your system up so that the database server itself is on a separate IP address. By clicking on the Advanced tab, this is where the database configuration information would be placed. And again, what you're seeing here are the default credentials for that database as installed. If you've done the normal installation process, none of this information needs to be changed. The next option is called the Login Server. This is a server that's not only housing the database, but is also the server you point to in order to be able to be authenticated and have your credentials verified in order to gain access to your video management system. This would be an IP address or a fully qualified domain name of the server that you want your credentials to be verified at. And this last option, called Windows Login, once checked and you enter the domain name of the system you're trying to access, will use your Active Directory or LDAP in order to verify your credentials and allow you to gain access to the system. So any of these methods help in gaining access to the system and also configuring the client in order to have the proper number of servers for your installation.